The energy inside Li Yi burst forth violently as he swung his sword towards Li Yunxiao, but his opponent didn't even care, calmly holding out the Great Compassion Mirror to block him. The powerful sword Q hit the treasure mirror and was reflected back exactly as it came. Li Yi looked on in terror as the reflected sword light returned with full force, mangling his body. Instantly, a golden light from the Great Compassion Mirror shot out and enveloped Li Yi, freezing the surrounding space, making the circulation of primal energy difficult and his body as heavy as a turtle on dry land. Recognizing the spatial power, Li Yi frantically exerted all the demonic energy from his limbs and bones to try and break through this suppression. Li Yunxiao smirked with a sneer as his figure flickered in mid-air, teleporting instantly to deliver a diamond punch straight down onto his opponent's head. Li Yi suddenly flashed a malicious smile, his teeth bared in a terrifying manner. His eyes glinted with ferocity as his body swelled. The Frost Breaker True Armor appeared with a pale green chill covering his body, making Li Yunxiao's fist feel as if it were stuck in deep mud, unable to advance further. Not only that, the cold air slithered up Li Yunxiao's arm, freezing it entirely into a blue color in the blink of an eye. Haha, your arm is as good as useless. Li Yi laughed triumphantly. This is the end. I didn't expect you to be as weak as a snail. What a waste of my expectations. Just like Chen Dashing or Xiao Jingwang back then who were thrashed by my master, with this armor, I am invincible in the world. Beiming Lifeng thought in secret astonishment that the Frostbreaker True Armor was a powerful secret technique in the mysterious ice manual with power far exceeding ordinary battle armor. It seemed this kid had reached a very deep level. Li Yunxiao's face remained as calm as ever, as if he were watching a cheap monkey circus. That terrifying composure made Li Yi feel a chill down his spine as his intuition warned him of something ominous. Li Yunxiao let out a cold, mocking laugh at such childishness, and the layer of ice on his arm immediately shattered into pieces. Thick black demonic Qi coiled around it, revealing mysterious demonic runes. Who was just bragging about being invincible? Li Yunxiao mocked, then formed a strange hand seal in his palm. He struck the seal directly onto the Frost Breaker True Armor. The strange symbol bloomed like a flower, causing the armor to tremble violently and then crack with a snapping sound. The entire ice armor shattered in mid-air into tiny glittering pieces of light, clearly illuminating Li Yi's face, which was pale with terror. Did you think I'd be helpless just because you opened your mouth? Li Yunxiao closed in, a lightning hammer appearing in his hand as he struck it directly into his opponent's wide-open mouth. Li Yi was horrified and hurriedly shut his mouth, but 10,000 bolts of lightning had already descended upon him relentlessly. Every bolt of lightning struck him directly in the face, causing blue light to flicker continuously. He let out a piercing scream before being knocked straight down to the ground by the shockwave. The surrounding crowd widened their eyes in horror. It is often said one should not hit another in the face, yet this man used 10,000 lightning bolts to pummel someone's face directly. Was he even human? Are you happy now? Li Yunxiao smiled as he stood leisurely high in the sky, having neutralized a 2-star martial emperor in just a few gentle moves, as easy as drinking a cup of tea. The entire garden was as silent as a grave. Many looked at Li Yi lying on the ground, not knowing whether he was dead or alive, wondering if the two were just putting on a performance for fun. Outside the Thanfong Min Gayat Tower, Ning Hangfeng could not hide the look of shock on his face. His inner self was in turmoil. Li Yunxiao looked relaxed, but his martial path hidden within was truly startling. From the mirror to the hammer, every move was executed with such precision it made one's spine tingle. Li stood in midair, smiling politely, and asked the two if they were satisfied and had their answers. Xiaoba muttered blankly that he didn't understand why the match was so far from his expectations, while Ba Tianhu shook his head, admitting he couldn't see through any of the tricks. Only a few moves, yet so many unbelievable things happened. I once tried to assassinate him and thought I was lucky to escape, but now I realize how naive I was. Li Yi's loss in this match is truly bizarre. Xiaoba also muttered that it was indeed confusing. He thought this desperate act would be world-shaking, but it ended as quickly as a restaurant running out of food. Fortunately, he could still sense a bit of life force from Li Yi. The demon clan's physique is truly as tenacious as a starving leech and does not die easily. In the city lord's mansion, Zhang Churan muttered thoughtfully that it was indeed as expected. This guy's combat talent was terrifying. Despite a few tricks, his strength was indeed a level above Li Yi's. He seized the opportunity with his mirror, launching a counter-strike combined with a spatial lock to gain the upper hand, then continued to deploy his ever-changing Vajra fist, which served as both a solid shield and a sharp offensive weapon, allowing him to freely shift the tide of battle. Nagayan Hongengoku could not help but be horrified. Such talent at a young age, neither arrogant in victory nor discouraged in defeat, maintaining an unusually calm demeanor while holding the advantage. That technique for breaking the ice true Q was certainly a superior demonic art, but the hand seal to dispel the ice true armor remained a mystery, as even equal level moves could hardly penetrate the North Sea Mysterious Palace's defenses. Jiang Churan nodded slightly in agreement. Breaking the ice true armor was the key to this match, and though she did not yet understand the mystery behind that hand seal, she was certain that the master of Yanwu City had painstakingly researched the secret techniques of the North Sea Mysterious Palace, which made him all the more interesting. His gaze was fixed on the water curtain as if he wanted to peer into the boy's soul and strip away all his secrets. His most terrifying quality was not his strange mysterious energy or high demonic cultivation, but his calmness, like a still lake even if a mountain were to collapse before his eyes. Confidence and the ability to foresee all situations in actual combat are not things harvested after a few days of study, but the fruit of accumulation from thousands of life or death experiences. In the air above the garden, the crowd gradually came to their senses. Many grew greedy, remembering the powerful, mysterious weapon Li Yingxiao used, and their gazes suddenly clouded over, for who wouldn't covet a treasure capable of helping a 6-star Marshal Venerable crush a 2-star Marshal Emperor? Suddenly, Li Yingxiao received a secret sound transmission from Nguyen Tu Mao, telling him that if he wanted that iron piece, he should quickly finish off the man surnamed Li, causing Li Yingxiao to freeze for a few seconds. He turned his head and met Nguyen Tu Mao's murderous gaze, then indifferently replied via transmission, "Is it simply that?" And Nguyen Tu Mao coldly coursed him, "Either kill that person, or pack your bags and leave the arena immediately." Li Yingxiao replied curtly with 2 words, "Deal." It was chilling to witness a fellow countryman from the southern domain use Li's life as a trade chip just for a piece of scrap iron. He lunged through the air, his treasure sword raised and aimed directly at Li Yi, who was in a precarious situation, but just then, a strange change occurred as the opponent's body suddenly evaporated from sight. Ba Tianhu appeared like a flash of lightning, his movement technique even swifter than the sword strike that had just descended. He swiftly snatched Li Yi and fled, while at the same time Xiao Ba and Li also materialized to block Li Yingxiao's path, causing his pupils to contract in surprise. He immediately identified the group from the palace of the god of death and the demon race member Li lurking there. Nguyen Tu Mao's face turned purple with rage as he shouted, "Who dares to barge into the clear wind moon pavilion without fear of death?" Then ordered Ning Hangfeng to quickly apprehend them all. Ning Hangfeng stepped forward, his sharp gaze boring deep into the opponents as he questioned coldly, "Do the 3 of you disregard the rules here to such an extent?" Xiaoba smiled awkwardly to pacify him. Please lower your anger, great lord, we will withdraw from the gathering and leave right now." Ba Tianhu was about to carry Li Yi and escape when he suddenly felt his entire body stiffen, as if crushed by a rock. An invisible pressure surged down from above, making him panic and look hurriedly at the sky. A powerful origin force tremor appeared in the void, and an old man loomed into view, speaking with a voice as cold as ice. "Since you have gone to the trouble of coming here, stay and have a cup of tea to converse with this old master for a bit. I still have a few questions that need answering right now." Bei Ming Leifeng saw the newcomer and hurriedly bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Elder Kong Thian." Ba Tianhu's forehead broke into a sweat. He hadn't expected this person to show up, and he didn't need to guess to know that this elder was interested in Li Yi's mastery of the ice essence. He laughed awkwardly and said, "Senior must be joking. You are a world-renowned master with knowledge many times greater than ours. How could there be anything you need to ask us?" Xiaoba also turned pale and quickly explained, "Senior Kong Thian, with your status, would you really want to trouble small fries like us?" Bei Ming Kong Thian snorted coldly, "Turning you to ashes is but a blink of an eye away." He pointed at the unconscious Li Yi and asked, "In the end, who taught him this ice essence?" Ba Tianhu struggled against the oppressive icy aura and said, "Elder Kong Thian, regarding the origin of the technique, our boss will certainly send someone to clarify with your noble sect." "Oh, what kind of thing is your boss?" Bei Ming Kong Thian raised his eyebrows in anger. Li Yingxiao also pricked up his ears. Although he had some guesses, he still couldn't determine who the leader was. Ba Tianhu whispered a sound transmission close to him, causing Bei Ming Kong Thian's expression to fluctuate wildly between horror and suspicion as he cried out, "Is it really him? You surely wouldn't dare lie to me." Xiaoba smiled peacemakingly, "We wouldn't dare joke with you. The palace master of North Sea Mysterious Palace surely knows about this." Bei Ming Kong Thian mused and then said, "All right, I believe you don't have the guts. If someone is backing you and will explain to the palace master personally, then fine, I will let you keep your lives for now. Get out of my sight." Xiaoba joyfully thanked the elder. He held Li Yi and waved goodbye with a smile, "So sorry for disturbing everyone." Nguyen Tu Mao suddenly screamed, "No! These 3 dared to barge in and disrupt the rules of Hongyu City. Whether they go or stay should be my decision." Bei Ming Kong Thian looked at him sideways and sneered, "If you are so capable, block them yourself." Nguyen Tu Mao's face flushed red as he swallowed his bitterness, watching the group nearly disappear. Suddenly, a cold grunt of dissatisfaction echoed through the area, and a deep voice rang out, "Elder Kong Thian, what tricks are you trying to play? Do you think there is no one left in Hongyu City to take charge?" The surrounding space trembled violently as another old man stepped out, waving his left hand lightly, which immediately locked all 3 of them with chains. Nguyen Tu Mao excitedly rushed forward and shouted, "Father!" The person who had just appeared was the leader Nguyen Nguyen Tu, one of the 8 most powerful figures in Red Moon City. Bei Ming Kang Tian smirked and replied, "Lord Nguyen Tu, you misunderstand me. I am merely reminding your nephew that if he wants to keep someone, he had better capture them himself." Nguyen Tu nodded slightly and replied calmly, "So that's how it is. In that case, I will personally detain these 4 people. There is no more business for Elder Kang Tian here. You may withdraw," leaving Bei Ming Kang Tian frozen for several seconds. He was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, "Fine, I shall take my leave then." He swung his arm, releasing a powerful wave of energy toward Li Yingxiao, shouting, "Brat, come with me to the Bei Ming Profound Palace immediately." Li Yingxiao felt the surrounding space freeze solid, making it difficult for him to move. His expression shifted as he realized Bei Ming Kang Tian was resentful over him breaking the shattering ice true armor. A truly fatal oversight on his part. Nagayan 2 stepped forward slowly, vibrating the spatial laws and causing the suppression around Li Yingxiao to vanish instantly, while Bei Ming Kangtian's attack also dissolved into nothingness. Bei Ming Kangtian's face darkened as he questioned, "Brother Nagayan 2, what is the meaning of this?" Nagayan 2 calmly replied, "Didn't I tell you that you have no more business here? Is it possible that a noble elder like yourself struggles to understand human speech?" Li Yingxiao breathed a sigh of relief. With so many masters gathered, he couldn't escape even with multiple sets of arms, so his best bet was to stay calm and look for a way out. Bei Ming Kangtian's eyes blazed with fury as he said coldly, "This kid has a secret technique to crack the Bei Ming Profound Palace's arts, so I must take him back." Nagayan 2 sneered, "There is an infinite number of martial arts in this world. Every technique has its counter. Using hand seals to break profound ice is normal. Is it possible your martial arts forbid others from finding ways to break them?" Haha, Brother Nagayan 2's words are exactly to my liking. To lose in martial arts and still have the audacity to demand capture, such perverse logic doesn't exist in this world. Suddenly a rift tore open in the sky above. A figure charged out from within, and upon landing in the inner courtyard, emitted a cold and gloomy aura that made one feel as if they had just swallowed a block of ice. Cheng Hamiao bowed respectfully. "Greetings, Elder Yao." He nodded in approval at Cheng Hamiao and then greeted Nagayan 2. "Thank you, Red Moon City, for helping Hamiao make such tremendous progress." Nagayan 2 modestly replied was his own fortune. The young people around remained silent, not daring to utter a word. They were overwhelmed as legendary figures appeared one by one. If any of the three standing there stomped their feet, the entire heavenly martial realm would tremble. Xiao Bai and the others also found it stressful. It was truly a scene of high-level masters clashing while those below were caught in the crossfire, and they wondered if the leader's trump card would still be effective. Bei Ming Kangtian's face was as dark as soot as he grumbled, "Dongfang Boju, you also came to join the fun." Dongfang Boji sighed and shook his head defensively. "I didn't intend to show myself, but I recently researched the Bei Ming Profound Palace's nether hand and seemed to have found a counter. Fearing I'd be kidnapped outside, I only dared to step out because Brother Nagayan 2 is here, hoping for his protection." Nagayan 2 gave a subtle laugh. "Haha, in Red Moon City, anyone who breaks the rules is punished without mercy, whether they are from the 7 luminaries, the 8 lords, or an elder of a major sect." "Good, very good." Bei Ming Kangtian trembled as his origin power surged out in waves. This caused the surrounding temperature to drop rapidly, leaving the crowd nearby shivering as if they were clutching an iceberg. Dongfang Bojio mocked, "The Death God's 8 idols have been like street rats lately, their reputation so foul even dogs run away. Today they actually dare to disrupt the Red Moon City Festival. They must be tired of living." "Brother Nagayan 2, I wonder how you intend to deal with them." Nagayan 2 replied calmly, "Those who break the law must naturally be punished according to the law." Dongfang Boju didn't let up, laughing, "Ha, according to Red Moon City's custom, these 4 must surely pay for their crimes." He deliberately pressured Nagayan 2 to decide the group's fate. Currently, Li Yi was Cheng Hamiao's strongest rival, and he desperately wanted him gone as soon as possible. Nagayan 2 chuckled, "The rules of Red Moon City are set by the people here. Those we want alive live and those we want dead die." These old foxes were all playing games. Though disgruntled, Dongfang Boji just smiled awkwardly. "Yes, yes." Bei Ming Kangtian coldly declared, "If there are rules, I shall follow them. But once that boy leaves the clear wind Bright Moon Tower, I will act. Surely Brother Nagayan 2 won't mind." Nagayan 2 replied, "Whether I mind or not will be seen then. For now the youngsters are meeting, it's better if you two withdraw. Or do you plan to stand here and teach them martial arts?" Brother Nagayan 2, it is unwise to protect him," Bei Ming Kangtian said deeply. "I will wait in the city. I hope you reconsider the relationship between our two sides carefully." Having said that, he swung his arm and vanished from the garden, and the air temperature gradually stabilized. Zhang Robing shouted after him, "Big Brother Yungxiao will stay in Red Moon City forever? If you're so capable, just stand guard for the rest of your life!" She was simply venting her anger. However, her words sounded different to others. Nagayan 2 Ma quickly intervened. "Cousin, do not act rashly. Bei Ming Profound Palace and Red Moon City are allies. How can we damage our harmony for an outsider?" Zhang Robing glared at him and said, "Already calling my friend an outsider. When that Li fellow injured me, only Big Brother Yungxiao helped. If you want to hand over my benefactor, hand me over first." Nagayan 2 Lang hurriedly explained, "My cousin was invaded by freezing QA and couldn't circulate his energy, otherwise he would have protected you even at the cost of his life." Dongfang Boji looked at the children. He then turned to Nagayan 2 and said, "These Death God's 8 idols are truly seeds of disaster for the realm. I hope you will eliminate them for the sake of peace." What a grand claim of eliminating evil for the sake of the realm. A muffled voice echoed through the sky, causing clouds and winds to swirl as beams of light converged into a giant golden face with empty eyes, which said, "Dongfang Boji, why don't you eliminate yourself first?" Dongfang Boji was startled and exclaimed in shock, "Is it really you?" Xiaoba shouted joyfully, "Senior Yuan, have you come to save us?" Hearing the name, Dongfang Boji was astounded and said tremblingly, "Are you truly third brother? Weren't you dead long ago? Why have you become the leader of the 8 idols?" The golden face let out an impatient cold snort and said, "You've talked far too much nonsense. I am not the leader, but I am second among the 8 idols. As for other matters, knowing too much will do you no good." Thua Haomu frowned slightly in confusion. Despite being a core disciple of the soul-devouring sect, he had absolutely no memory of the man Elder Du called third brother. That silhouette floating in mid-air suddenly stirred a strange feeling of longing within his heart. 9 heaven soul slaves can turn golden, and golden soul slaves are divided into 4 ranks: heaven, earth, mysterious, and yellow. While his was only of the yellow rank, the giant before him possessed an unfathomably deep aura, and though its specific rank was unclear, it must have reached the earth rank. Nagayan too suddenly froze and his expression shifted drastically. He stammered, asking if it was truly Dongmanvian, the man who, agreed to cultivate soul slaves, ruthlessly murdered and devoured the souls of over 20 martial emperors in his clan. As soon as the words were spoken, the crowd erupted into a terrified commotion. Thua Haomi was equally shocked, finally recognizing this person's identity. Was this not the most notorious traitor of the soul-devouring sect in the last 100 years, who had mercilessly slaughtered over 20 martial emperors within the sect to refine a heaven-ranked golden soul slave? Among the victims were friends, brothers, and even his own father, who was a vice-sect leader. The other vice-sect leader also became a ghost under his command, and even sect leader Hong Kubat had once been wounded by him. Although the sect leader later used great power to slay Dongmanvian, this remained the sect's most horrific massacre and an unsolved mystery. No one expected that Dongmanvian, long thought dead, was still very much alive and had even become a member of the 8 death statues. More terrifying was that such a formidable figure was only ranked 2nd, so what kind of monster must their leader be? The phantom golden face above spoke coldly, threatening that anyone who dared to touch a member of the 8 statues would see their entire family slaughtered. At the city lord's manor, Nguyen Hongnungok spoke dismissively. Birds of a feather flock together, snakes and scorpions pair with rats. How does he plan to solve this now, and what did you just whisper to my eldest brother? Jiang Churan replied with a smile. I only told him to act according to the situation. Unless we are certain we can wipe them all out, don't be foolish enough to turn against the 8 statues. They are like wisps, arriving without a trace and leaving without a form. If they can't win, they slip away, only to return in ambush later. Even figures like their leader and Dongmanvian could give us a headache worse than poison. Nguyen Hongnungok pouted and said, if they show their faces at our door and we still endure it, wouldn't we become the laughingstock of the world? In my opinion, we should capture Dongmanvian and his lackeys alive to lure out their leader, then wipe them all out in one sweep. Then the prestige of my Hongnungayat city would crush the other 6 major sects. Jiang Churan shook his head with a sigh. Putting aside whether we can lure him out, even if he shows himself, given his unprecedented hidden killing techniques, we wouldn't be certain of victory. The more Jiang Churan thought about it, the angrier he became, involuntarily blurting out, the leaders of the 7 major sects are truly a bunch of useless incompetents who can't do anything right. I really want to give it all up and wander the world to be free of this burden. On the upper floor of Thanfong Minungayat Tower, Nguyen too tried to remain calm and spoke. These people acted arrogantly and disregarded the rules of Hongnungayat City, so naturally they must face our judgment. No matter who you are, you should wait quietly for the result. Dongmanvian laughed mockingly and said, judgment, how ridiculous. The lawbreaker is that Vu City Lord, he dared to lay hands on a person from my Death God Palace. Is the gathering of heroes allowed to permit arbitrary killing? Nguyen too's eyes flashed with sharpness as he said in a deep voice, when did you see him die that you dare speak so recklessly? Don't cast blame on others. As for your people interfering in the contest, that was plainly seen by thousands. How about this wake up that nephew Li so they can have a fair duel? If the Vu City Lord dares to kill intentionally, we will punish him ourselves. Dongmanvian let out an angry roar. Fine, if you want to fight, let's fight, but Xiao Bai must be the one to meet him. Although the heroes gathering has an age limit, the boy isn't much over it. Moreover, he and the Death God Palace have a long-standing grudge, so let them have a life and death battle to settle all scores. Li Yunxiao quickly intervened. Lord Nguyen too, don't believe his nonsense. I don't even know them, so how could there be a grudge? Nundian Nguyen too nodded in agreement. There, Dongmanvian, he has said you're lying. The golden face in the sky yelled, boy, you have no grudge with me, but I have a grudge with you? Don't worry about what kind of grudge, just fight. If you win, you live. If you lose, you die. Nundian Nguyen too turned to Li Yunxiao. At least in Hongnungayat City I can still protect you. Outside the city, I'm at my wit's end. Jiang Ruobing cried out in panic. That won't do, Uncle Nguyen too. Jiang Ruobing continued, Big brother Yunxiao, don't worry, with your talent, just stay and cultivate in Hongnungayat City. The spiritual energy here is the most abundant in the eastern region. In a few decades, you'll reach the pinnacle of the martial path. Then you can settle scores with that old man Kong Thian and see if he dares to capture you again. Everyone listened in silence, thinking that Jiang Ruobing was truly determined to make him her husband. What was the point of this arena competition anymore? Those who couldn't beat Li Yunxiao would lose, and those who won would likely only receive a refusal from him. Inside the city lord's manor, Nguyen Hongnungok frowned in annoyance and said, that girl Ruobing speaks without any regard for hierarchy. As a girl, she lacks discretion. If the world looks on, where will our dignity go? Li Yunxiao could only scratch his head and massage his forehead in exasperation. Suddenly, he gave a wry smile and said, Lord Vian, can you respect my opinion a little? What logic is it for you to arbitrarily arrange my affairs? Has your soul slave already reached the heaven rank? Why are you still so idle that you like poking your nose into other people's business? Holy crap. The space became deathly silent as everyone gaped in shock. They hadn't expected him to dare speak that way to Dong Manvian, like a madman who didn't fear death. Everyone felt this was absurd. The man before them had not only killed dozens of martial emperors but had even not spared his own father, and the dazzling golden soul slave above was enough to terrify anyone. The optimal solution was clearly to hide in Hong and Gayat City as Zhang Ruobing suggested. With his talent, his return to the world would only be a matter of time, and then no one would dare block his path.
Today!
Even a living saint could not save you. Dong Manvian flew into a rage, and the golden soul slave above immediately unleashed a brilliant golden lightning bolt straight down at Li Yunxiao's head. Nagayan and Gayan too showed clear shock and shouted angrily, "Dong Manvian, you dare to kill someone right before my eyes. What audacity!" Meanwhile, Li Yunxiao showed a brief look of triumph. He had intentionally provoked Dong Manvian into a rage so that he would strike first. This way, Hong and Gayat City would be forced to intervene to save face. Only if a conflict broke out between the two sides would there be a chance to turn the situation around. Now Dong Manvian had indeed lost control, and that golden lightning bolt contained not only extremely terrifying thunder power, but it was also capable of attacking the soul directly. Whoever was struck by it would certainly be dead. Nagayan too looked intently at Dong Manvian with a face full of murderous intent, yet his limbs remained still as a stone statue. Li Yunxiao suddenly felt something was wrong. It turned out this man Nagayan too had no intention of protecting him and was deliberately leaving him to be destroyed. Kwang Nuok Bang gave a startled cry and was about to rush out to save her companion, but unfortunately for her she was blocked by Ngayan Tu Lang. The critical moment had arrived, and Li Yunxiao no longer bothered to hide his skills, intending to pull out his secret weapon and go all out. Suddenly a slender tapered hand descended from high above quite unexpectedly. As soon as that hand touched the lightning, there was a boom, and light scattered everywhere like fireworks on New Year's Eve. The shockwave alone was enough to make people's heads spin, their blood surging within them like water at a rolling boil. Who dares to be so bold as to interfere in my business? The bright golden face in the sky roared, its form shifting continuously in a fit of rage. A stunning beauty landed softly right in front of Li Yunxiao, her long flowing hair and pale pink dress giving her a very gentle appearance. With a slender waist and a soft, graceful voice. Human life is constrained by time without freedom. Looking back at the vast mortal world, one feels as though their youth has been stolen. Whether it be flesh or soul, they are but like the ethereal moonlight reflecting on a tranquil lotus pond.